11 months ago, walking across a courtyard required 2 stops to rest. Today, running 5 kilometers on stone before breakfast feels completely natural. And the exercise that changed everything wasn't running, wasn't stretching, wasn't anything exotic or complicated. It was 6 movements you almost certainly already know how to do. You've just been doing them wrong, for the wrong amount of time, in the wrong order. And here's what's wild. Every single one of these 6 exercises looks almost embarrassingly simple. None of them require equipment. None of them require a gym. But done correctly in the right sequence, they rebuild legs that most people think can never recover. Let's talk about why most leg training programs fail to build genuinely resilient legs. The first mistake is training for appearance instead of joint integrity. Most leg training focuses on quad size and glute development. The theory is bigger muscles equal stronger legs. The reality is muscle size doesn't determine joint stability. The tendons, connective tissue, and stabilizers around your knees determine whether your legs hold up under real demand. Build muscles on top of weak tendons, and you create a structure that fails when life actually tests it. The Shaolin understood that joint integrity matters infinitely more than muscle size. Then there's the speed problem. Most people do squats and lunges quickly, relying entirely on momentum to get through the movement. The theory is more reps equals more training effect. The reality is speed is how most gym goers cheat every single movement without realizing it. Slow down any leg exercise and there's nowhere to hide. Your weaknesses become immediately visible. Your stabilizers are forced to actually work. The training effect multiplies dramatically. The Shaolin trains slowly and deliberately. The bilateral dominance mistake is another critical failure. Train both legs simultaneously, always. Never train single leg stability. The theory is bilateral training builds complete leg strength. The reality is your stronger leg secretly compensates for your weaker leg in every bilateral movement. This compensation quietly allows imbalances to grow for years. Single leg training exposes and eliminates these imbalances. Your joints need single leg stability for virtually everything real life demands. The skipping endurance work approach is another common mistake. Focus on strength and power exercises. Ignore lower leg and ankle endurance training. The theory is strength training covers all the necessary development. The reality is weak calves and ankles are where most running and walking injuries actually start. Not in the knee, in the lower leg that fails to absorb impact first. The Shaolin built extensive routines around ankle and calf endurance precisely because they understood this chain. And finally, there's the sequencing mistake. Do exercises in whatever order feels convenient or comfortable. The theory is sequence doesn't matter as long as you do the exercises. The reality is sequence determines whether each phase actually builds on the previous one. Stillness must come before controlled motion. Controlled motion must come before balance. Balance must come before endurance. Endurance must come before speed. Skip any step in this sequence and the next phase simply doesn't hold. Every conventional approach to leg training fails because it either ignores joint integrity, trains with momentum, skips single leg work, ignores endurance, or sequences exercises randomly. The correct 6-exercise sequence addresses every element systematically. Here's the first exercise. The horse stance hold. This is not a warm-up, this is the test. Feet wider than shoulder width. Spine straight, thighs as close to parallel with the floor as your knees allow. Stay there. Traditional Shaolin training measures this in minutes, not seconds. Serious students work toward 5 uninterrupted minutes. Here's where almost everyone gets it wrong. They let their knees drift forward past the toes to make the hold more comfortable. It feels like the same exercise, but it isn't. The moment your knee travels forward, the load shifts from your hip and glute, where it belongs, onto the front of your knee joint, where it doesn't. 10 years of that mistake is exactly how healthy people end up with cartilage damage in their 40s with no idea why. Keep your knees tracking back. Feel the load in your hips and glutes. Start with 30 seconds. Build toward 5 minutes over many weeks. The second exercise is the forward lunge held instead of pulsed. Step forward into a deep lunge. Back leg straight, front knee stacked directly over the ankle. Hold each position for a controlled 3 count before switching. 10 slow held lunges per leg. Done correctly, these tax your legs more than 30 rushed body weight lunges. The common mistake is almost universal. People let the back heel lift and twist outward mid-lunge, which quietly disengages the entire back of the leg, the muscles that actually protect the knee. Keep that heel grounded, and the exercise transforms from a stretch into genuine armor for your joints. The third exercise is the wall sit. Back flat against a wall, knees at 90 degrees, thighs parallel to the floor, arms relaxed at your sides. This is one of the most effective isometric exercises for knee resilience that exists because your entire body weight holds through the quads and knee joint with zero momentum to hide behind. Hold for 60 seconds. You'll understand within the first 20 seconds why physical therapists still prescribe this for knee rehabilitation more than almost anything else. The mistake is letting your knees cave inward or push past your toes as fatigue builds. Done with strict form over 8 to 10 weeks, this is genuinely one of the fastest ways to reduce knee pain in people who have spent years avoiding leg training. Done sloppily, it teaches your knees to fail under load instead. The fourth exercise is the single leg balance hold. Stand on one leg, opposite knee lifted to hip height, arms out for a slow count of 30, then switch sides. Research on fall prevention has repeatedly shown that single leg balance time is one of the strongest predictors of joint health and injury risk in adults over 40. A stronger predictor in several studies than raw leg strength. Most gym routines have zero equivalent. The common failure is compensating with your arms and torso instead of making your standing ankle and hip do the actual work. It turns a leg exercise into an arm exercise, and your leg learns absolutely nothing. Keep your torso still. Let your ankle and hip stabilize you. The fifth exercise is single leg calf raises in full range. Rise onto your toes. Pause a full second at the top. Lower with complete control. 20 reps per leg. Traditional Shaolin conditioning built entire routines around ankle and calf endurance because weak lower legs are where running injuries actually begin, not in the knee. A properly conditioned practitioner completes 50 clean, controlled reps per leg without form breaking down. Most untrained people fail well before 25 reps. That gap is almost entirely calf endurance. Nobody ever bothers training. The mistake nearly every time is bouncing, using momentum instead of training through a full controlled range. It looks similar. It trains almost nothing. The sixth exercise is high knees. This is the bridge from rehabilitation back to actual running. Stand in place. Drive each knee up toward your chest, arms pumping. Build from a slow, controlled march to a genuine sprint-in-place rhythm. Most rehabilitation programs avoid this movement too long out of caution, which ironically slows recovery instead of protecting it. 30 seconds at a controlled pace, 3 sets. This single exercise was where real recovery accelerated. The mistake almost everyone makes is leaning backward and landing flat-footed with each step instead of landing on the balls of their feet with their torso upright. That single habit is the difference between a genuine conditioning drill and a future shin problem. Here's how the sequence works as a recovery and resilience building protocol. Start with 60 seconds of horse stance and 30 seconds of wall sit once daily for the first 2 weeks. Add the held lunges in week 3. The single leg balance work and calf raises come once the first 3 exercises feel genuinely boring. Boring is the signal that these exercises have stopped being a challenge. Add the high knees last, and only once your legs feel genuinely stable through the previous 5 exercises. Progression happens through patience. By week 2, your 60-second horse stance will feel more stable. By week 4, your lunges will feel controlled where they felt shaky before. By week 6, your wall sit form will have improved significantly. By week 8, single leg balance will have improved measurably. By week 12, your calf endurance will have transformed. By week 16, high knees will feel genuinely athletic instead of challenging. These 6 exercises rebuild legs because they follow the correct sequence. Stillness first through the horse stance. Controlled motion second through held lunges. Isometric strength third through wall sits. Balance and stability fourth through single leg holds. Endurance fifth through calf raises. Speed and power sixth through high knees. Skip any step and the next phase simply doesn't hold. If you're committing to these 6 leg exercises for rebuilding genuine resilience, drop a comment saying leg resilience and let me build a community of people who understand that correct sequence and slow, controlled movement beats fast, heavy training for building legs that actually last. And if you want detailed form guidance for each exercise, how to modify based on your current capability, or how to continue this protocol beyond 16 weeks, hit subscribe and turn on notifications because we're building the most complete leg rehabilitation and resilience community on the internet. People who understand that you can go from not walking to running when you follow the correct sequence. These 6 exercises rebuild legs that most people believe can never recover. Horse stands for joint integrity and connective tissue loading. Held lunges for controlled motion under load. Wall sits for isometric knee resilience. Single leg balance for stability and fall prevention. Calf raises for lower leg endurance that prevents most injuries. High knees for bridging controlled movement back to athletic power. That's the entire system. That's all you need. The decision is simple. Keep training randomly with momentum and wonder why your legs never feel truly resilient, or commit to 6 correctly sequenced exercises and rebuild legs that can run 5 kilometers on stone. The commitment is sustainable. 15 to 20 minutes daily for 16 weeks. That's it. The results are inevitable. From barely walking to running comfortably. From joint pain to genuine resilience. From avoiding leg training to never skipping these 6 exercises again. Now hold your first horse stance, begin your sequence, and I'll see you in the next video.